Every time you log into your WordPress site, you'll see the dashboard. This is where you get news announcements and things that we don't really pay attention to. Generally, when you come into the WordPress site, you're going to be working with posts and pages. Posts we will talk about in a different video, but basically they are the things that you will be working with the most. They are the things that are going to create your auctions, your real estate, etc. Pages are different. They are static. They're the things that are kind of stay the same throughout the entire life of your website. For instance, if we look at your website, they're the pages like the About Us page that you might edit once in a while. They're the pages like Contact Us, or if you have a page for testimonials, things that are going to stay throughout the site no matter what auctions and real estate items come and go. So let's take a look at how to edit a page. If you click on Pages, this is where you can see all the pages in your website. If you need to add a new page, then you add new and it's going to look the same way. Now for every page, when you look here, you'll see an edit button and a quick edit button, and you can also click on the name to edit it, or you can throw it away if you want to. Sometimes you'll have more pages than what you see on the first screen, and there will be kind of direction arrows up here that you can flip between, but right now we only have this many pages. So to edit a page, you can click on the page name, and this looks pretty similar between all of the pages and the posts. You have the editing area, and don't worry if this doesn't necessarily look exactly like it would look on the website, because the website is applying styles to it, and this is just looking at plain text. Now it's really important when you're creating a website or when you're creating text in these pages that you use this editing area up here. When you first come in, it might look like this, just one row. And then there's this button that says show or hide the kitchen sink. And this gives you even more formatting options such as colors and underlining and paste options, etc. Now when you're editing, a couple things you need to know is if you're going to do a heading 1 or a heading 2, so these are a hierarchy of titles, make sure that you don't try to style these on your own by changing, maybe making it bold and making it bigger and doing different colors, because the style sheet for the website is applying in the live site. And so things like About Us, this is the page name and you don't even have to type this. This is something that the style is generated by the site. But if I go to, let's say, staff, all these different names and headings, if I come to maybe one of the auctions, all of these headings look that way because of something we call a style sheet. So when you're in here, make sure that when you create something like a title, you choose one of these pre-formatted headings, and you still won't see what it looks like here, but if I highlight this one and change it to heading 2, and then maybe make a heading 3, you'll see when we save this page what it's going to look like. So make sure that you're using these editing buttons. We have bold, underline, strike through. This is where you can do bullets and numbered bullets. And then you have your align options, and you can create links here. So if I wanted to change the heading 3 to a link, I could click the link button and then put the full URL. Don't just put like google.com. You have to put the HTTP, the full URL. And then the title is what you tell people, click here to visit Google. And if it's a link to an outside site, you want to open it in a new tab or window so that your website stays open for the person who's on it. So I can click add link, and that's going to create a link when we see the updated version. Right now, if I go to About Us, you can't see the updated version because we haven't published this page. A couple of other things I wanted to point out, there are 3 paste options. There's paste as plain text and paste from Word. Now, when you copy text from something like Word, you might have colors and font styles and different formatting options. And when you put that, when you copy it from Word and you put it into this area right here, it'll try to keep as much of that formatting as possible. But when you do copy and paste from something like Word, it adds a bunch of code that's going to make your page look kind of funky and weird, and you don't necessarily want that. So if you just do paste as plain text, it's just going to take the text and take all the formatting out of it, and then you can go through and start saying what needs to be bold, what needs to be one of the headings, etc. And if you accidentally paste it directly from Word and it has all that formatting and you don't want it, then you can highlight it and click remove formatting and it'll get rid of all of that. So let's go ahead and talk about how you actually get this page live on the internet. So if you look to the right hand side, you'll see these publish options, and right now this page is published, which means it's viewable to everybody who comes to the site. If you don't want it to be viewable, let's say you're working on it or it's a new page that you don't want to go out for a certain time, then you can say draft, and then you'll see a save draft button here, and it'll save the work on that page, but people still won't be able to see it until you publish it. You can also choose when you want it to be published. So let's say you have an auction that is going to start happening on August 1st. Well, you can create it beforehand and then tell it when to publish it. But for now, we just want to update this page, so we'll click update. And from here, you can click on this link or this link to actually change this page to your current site. And I like to have them side by side so I can bounce back and forth. So you can right click on here and do open link in new tab. But when I come here, it doesn't look like anything changed because we need to hit refresh. And when we do, you can see that the headings look a little bit different. Heading 1 is a little bit bigger than heading 2, and then heading 3 is a link. And it opens up in a new tab and it goes to Google. And that's exactly what we wanted it to do. And if we hover over it, you see a little tooltip that says click here to visit Google. And that's that title that we created in the link. So that's the basics of editing a page. Posts are very similar, except for they have other things that allow them to be in the sidebar and help people to kind of navigate through your website, and we'll talk about that in another video.